We've got tips and recipes for healthy living. So for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the raw food world.
Welcome everybody, this is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show. And look at the two pretty princesses we've got here. Mariah Berry Monarch, who's sitting nicely on my lap. How lucky am I?
With a carrot.
With a carrot. Angela Stokes Monarch. And our green
Sitting
juice.
nicely on a piano stool. And Mr. Monarch's got some green juice.
Good.
Straight from the garden and the greenhouse. Picked with my very own hands, I believe.
Wow. Okay, so we want to talk about the basics. I'm talking about colonics all the time, and I want to talk about diet, because diet is the most important. Because if you don't do diet, nothing else works. Tell him, Mariah. And I've talked about this concept many, many times. Look at that little face. There's so many diets on the market today. I'm sure you've heard of many of them, such as the Zone Diet, Macrobiotics Diet, South Beach Diet. And all the creators of these diets, they claim to get results. They say people are healing from disease and losing weight. And to be honest with you, I've actually seen people do these diets, and I've actually seen people heal and lose weight. So they're right. And there's one common denominator on why all these diets work.
Why?
The common denominator is they all leave certain foods out of their diets completely without any exception whatsoever. And the crazy thing about it all, every one of those diets I just mentioned and every diet out there that works, they all eliminate the same exact foods. Processed foods, mainly refined sugars and processed starches. Some of them even have animal protein. It's a whole food. It's not as damaging as processed starches, bread, refined sugars, soda. So it's all about, it's more important what you don't eat than what you actually eat. And if you can't make a step to improve your diet, that's all you got to do. Eliminate the junk, the processed foods. And
Tell them about that list.
Angela's been,
Not that list.
a Whole Foods list. You talking
Yeah.
about that? Go to therawfoodworld.com/wholefoods.html. Has all the whole foods that you can eat. Has animal protein on there. Not that I'm an animal protein advocate. I wouldn't touch it. Has baked potato, beans, all sorts of things you can eat. You make it at home. No more going to restaurants unless you're eating at places that have healthy food.
And even then, be careful.
You know, it's better without it. She wants everything Daddy touches and Mama touches. So, there are two ways to improve your diet. And the two ways to do this are eliminating kinds of foods and quantities of foods. Kinds of foods is, okay, you're going to stop eating certain foods such as greasy foods and McDonald's and processed starches. Quantities of food is just eating less. So you're eating McDonald's every day, and instead of getting 2 hamburgers each meal, you get 1 hamburger. And both work. You're going to detox. But it's actually more powerful to eliminate kinds of foods rather than quantities at the standard American diet level. For example, me personally, and I know many others who have healed from disease, who eliminated standard American diet, went on a raw food diet, and just pigged out nonstop. I knew one guy that was eating a jar of almond butter every single day, lost 50 pounds, and healed from his disease. A jar of almond butter. He said he passed out afterwards every time he did it, but he healed. Now, the quantity of raw food that he would eat all day, I'm talking, I used to eat like 3 avocados in a meal. We're talking 5 avocados in a meal the size of these avocados.
We do.
And people do well because they're not eliminating the quantity, but the kind of food. That's number one. When you get further to the whole food spectrum, though, when you're eating only whole foods, quantity might change a bit. Like instead of going 100% raw food and pigging out, you could eat less whole foods maybe and possibly be better off. And lastly, Angela's been toying around with this new little idea, and she wanted to share it with you.
I wanted to make like a little fact sheet, like that would fit on a single piece of paper, to tell people the things that they could do to improve their health vastly, kind of no matter what they're dealing with, you know, whether it's something trifling or some major disease. And I was inspired into this because a dear friend wrote recently about a friend of hers who's just been diagnosed with something that we probably can't say or will be executed or something. So I was writing to her what I would suggest based on, you know, what we've seen and what we've experienced over the years. And it basically came down to 4 things. And I thought, wow, it would be so amazing just put this on a piece of paper and, you know, put it up for free on our website and people just print it out or whatever. Give it to people. So these were the 4 things that I wrote. The first one, as Mr. Mona was just saying, was to make some kind of improvement in what you're intaking. So again, that could be that you eat fewer things. It could be that you eat less of certain toxic things. It could be that you go from processed food to eating totally whole foods. It could be that you go over to totally raw. It's going to be different for everybody, but make some kind of improvement so that you're making some space in your body for some detox to happen, because obviously what you've been doing hasn't been working if you're ill.
And we want to eliminate kinds of food, not quantities if you're eating a standard American diet.
So that's the first thing, make some kind of improvement in your intake. Second thing, I'm sure you can all guess, is colon hydrotherapy, which we spoke about probably about 50,000 times to you already, but you know, it doesn't always register with people. And whether it's an enema or a professional colonic or a kalima or whatever it is, if I personally was dealing with some kind of serious disease, I would be doing that daily for sure. This is all just, you know, simple, basic, old school stuff, right? It's all Anne Wigmore stuff. Improve what you're intaking, do colon hydrotherapy every day if you're dealing with something serious and you seriously want to deal with it. And then the next one is juicing and or preferably both enzymes. So this is all about like little things that you can add in. They're going to make a huge difference. So juicing is a way of getting fresh, nutrient-rich liquid straight into your body, like instantly absorbed into your tissues, full of vitamins and minerals and enzymes and this and that and da-da-da-da-da, from fresh vegetables and fruits, just like he just was drinking. Preferably green, that would be great. Get your juices in to be getting like really good intake. Remember that Anne Wigmore said that pretty much all disease is based in 2 things: deficiency and toxemia, like an overload in the body being backed up.
Booing.
And so, and then enzymes, which Mr. Monarch just did an article and a video about, so hopefully you all know about that. Systemic enzymes are going to help to clear stuff up in your body. So that's number 3, juicing and enzymes. And number 4, I would like to add is to sincerely and honestly take a look at the emotional, mental, spiritual side of things. If you've created some kind of disease in your body, why did you do that?
Maybe we should move that to number 1.
Why on earth would you do that to yourself? Like, what is your motivation? So I suggest, if you're doing this for yourself, to just, you know, sit somewhere quietly with a piece of paper and honestly go through this for yourself. It doesn't have to be something that anyone else ever sees. Or if you're suggesting this to someone else, do it in a similar kind of setting, like somewhere very quiet, because people can get very reactionary, you know, very defensive. I wouldn't have created this for myself. Why would I do that? Blah, blah, blah. But if you present it in a gentle way, it's possible that people might, you know, think about it. Why would I have done this to myself? What is the underlying reason? There's a great resource from Louise L. Hay, I'm sure a lot of you know, on this. I think it's her book. I'm sure you'll write it in the comments. You Can Heal Your Body or something it's called. She has these great lists of her perception of if you have an ailment somewhere in your body or in your psyche, whatever, what that corresponds to. So, for example, if there's something in your breast, it might be because you are overpowering people around you, or if it's in the other breast, it might be because you're not taking care of your own needs. You know, there's all these different things, and you can look that up. You know, you can find her books or do a Google search for Louise L. Hay, something like spiritual meaning underlying diseases or something like that, and you'll find things like that. I find that kind of stuff really insightful. Why would you create this for yourself? Take a look at that. So those 4 things: improve your diet, colon hydrotherapy, juicing and enzymes, and take a look at why you would do it. That's what I wanted to share. And I hope that we get to put that on a piece of, so translate it into Spanish. Okay, she's done.
And you guys, it's a spiritual phenomena, and coming soon, back, is Detox into Spiritual Part 5. People got upset when I said I was done with it. We're coming back soon, and we'll see you next time
Oh my goodness.
at the Raw Food World TV.
Ciao.
Ciao!
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at the Raw Food World.